Hello, everyone, and welcome to Throwback Thursday as we greet our former cast members. We have Kaitlin Moews on the bottom there, and we have Rebecca Moews at the top there. And we're going to be talking with them because they were sisters who worked with us. And we have had quite a few sibling sets over the decades, but this was a particularly fun set with the two of you since you also grew up coming to shows. Laura is here with me today, and so Laura's going to be asking questions, and I'll let you take it away, Laura.
All right, so we'll kind of do both of you. We'll start with Kaitlin. Kaitlin, what years did you work at the Village, and then what shows were you in?
I forgot the year.
We can help you.
2015. 2015 was your first year.
Thank you.
2016.
Thank you very much. 2015 and 2016.
Yes.
I should have totally remembered that. It was like my last 2 years of college.
Do you remember what shows you did in each year?
Oh, absolutely. The first year I worked, we did Rumpelstiltskin and Rapunzel and Jack and the Beanstalk. And then the second year was Alice in Wonderland, Robin Hood, and Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes.
And the Three Pigs.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then obviously, Becca, you would have the same 3 shows in 2016.
Yep.
I'll let you ask the question.
Yeah, so what, so you were here in 2016, and then what roles did you play in those shows?
So in 2016, I was Little Red / Pippa the Pig in Little Red Riding Hood. And then I was Pierre Louis in Robin Hood. And I was in Alice in Wonderland.
Very good. And Kaitlin, what about you?
Let's see. The first year I was Rapunzel and Rumpelstiltskin, and then I was a bean seller / golden harp. And then second year I was the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland, and I was Maid Marian in Robin Hood, and I was Granny / one of the Three Pigs in the other show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite role or show that you did?
It would probably be Pierre Louis. It was definitely
Robin
Pierre
Hood,
Louis.
yeah.
Robin Hood.
Very funny.
Yeah. No question. I mean, they were all really fun shows. But Pierre Louis and Robin Hood, oh man, that character resonated with me. I had so much fun with him, and I loved partnering with Nate as my sheriff, and we were just the best villains ever. It was so much fun.
Very
To this day, our family still makes jokes about that character because she just had so much fun with it. And it's also so cool because you were studying French in school, and so you used that French accent that you had already been practicing, and just
made it more obnoxious.
Cartoonized it. Yeah, you cartoonized it for the show, and it just fit so perfectly.
It worked. Kaitlin has told me before that if she ever gets into her deepest, darkest depression in her life ever, all I gotta do is just show up in a Pierre Louis costume and go, "I am Pierre Louis," and she's like, "That'll save me. I'll be done."
No end of laughter when I remember her doing that part, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of laughter.
Kaitlin, do you have a favorite show or
Yes.
role?
But I definitely drew inspiration from being Rumpelstiltskin the year before, and channeled some of that energy into my Mad Hatter. So they were kind of similar characters for me because they're traditionally played by guys or like men, both those characters. And so it was really cool to like bring something else to the table and still like do justice to the story like that the character was bringing. And so I just like was very proud at the end of the process of taking on that challenge of traditionally male roles. And I remember at the end of one of the Rumpelstiltskin shows, when we were taking pictures with guests at the end, there was this 2 couple girls like that came up and gave me a hug, and they're like, "I just want you to know that you are my spirit animal. I just cannot believe how much I loved you and loved your energy and loved everything you did on stage. And you are my spirit animal. And I just, like, it felt really good to, bring that much joy to people. And you just never know, like, when you really hit someone in the funny bone in the feels. So that was a lot of fun, those character roles.
Your Mad Hatter was certainly an iconic role, and I think it glitched for us slightly as you were talking about Mad Hatter and then also playing the role of Skinny. I'll interject, having had seen both of your auditions for both years. When we were first auditioning for Rumpelstiltskin, I had a very different script in mind, and then we had people reading Rumpelstiltskin, and it tend to be a guy. And then we had people read it anyway, and I had you read, and you were one of my first people. And after you read it, I went, this isn't the way we should be doing this show. We need to make it a girl. And I ended up, because of your audition, rewriting the whole script and changing the complete tone of how we did that show. And I loved how it came out. It was so much more fun and so less creepy of a story. Because it's kind of a weird story, but I think we made it so that it was more fun and a little bit more plausible, as far as fairy tales can be plausible. So that was always, I think, a fun thing where actors can often inspire the writers too, and that was one of those times.
It was, so glad that worked out that way. But yeah.
So what are you guys doing now? And are you still doing anything with the theater and arts?
You want to go first, Becca?
Sure. So with COVID, things have changed. But so before COVID, I had actually just gotten down to Florida. I had been working at Disney World for 6 weeks, and I was friends with characters. Really good friends. It was like we were the same person. It's crazy, but we weren't on the record. But you could say I was really good friends with chipmunks and a certain dog from the movie Up. Like, hung out with those guys a lot. My original plan was to finish out the college program and transition into staying down there full time and doing more performance opportunities. I had an audition lined up to be part of their new-ish drum show in Pandora, in their Pandora park, and some other things that were kind of on the horizon that I was thinking about doing, but obviously things shut down, so I had to come home. Still possible I'll go back down, but for the time being, I have since gotten a job at Hy-Vee to keep making money and stay busy and stuff. But I also am doing magic shows at Adventureland. So we opened actually yesterday, and I will be doing my first magic show with Ben Mullen on Wednesday next week.
Okay. So early part of June there. Very good. Well, that's fun. I'm glad the magic show thing all came together.
Yeah. No matter where she ends up, she can't stay off the stage.
Yes. It just finds me.
It's just a part of her. Okay, I guess I'll go next. I've been wanting to be an actor professionally since I was like in elementary school, so that's still something that I'm pursuing. I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I am a professional actor here. I have an agent. I audition as much as possible. I've done several independent films, one regional commercial in Oklahoma City. I've done a couple music videos, but I'm just kind of trekking along, just living the artist life, just auditioning and jumping for the opportunity to get a script in my hand whenever that's possible. I just recently joined a comedy group that puts out funny sketch videos that have to do with the restaurant industry. So that's been a lot of fun to get involved in that. It's called Shift Drinks, if anyone wants to look them up. But yeah, that's just kind of what I'm up to right now. Still being an actor, still love performing. Oh, and I also, I get booked on the weekends to be characters for kids' parties, little kids' parties. So I get booked as all the princesses and some occasionally cartoon characters, and I face paint and play with kids and give out hugs, and it's been so much fun. Definitely using some of my skills from Treasure Village of working with kids and creating big characters, big, interesting, entertaining characters. Definitely use that to make a steady income now on the weekends.
That's awesome. We love that. It's fun to see both of you so still involved in the arts and pursuing your dreams and your goals with all of that. So keep it up.
Well, I can't remember if we mentioned this, but Kate and I both graduated from college with theater degrees. So there was always the plan to, move forward with that.
Yep.
And you're
just love it.
We often have people like both of you with theater degrees. We also have a lot of staff, though, who aren't in theater. They just enjoy it for the fun. So it's kind of fun also that both of you were pursuing theater that same way.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Next question here.
So Kaitlin, you kind of mentioned something that you learned from the village in interacting and then being able to use that as a princess. But what are some other things that you guys have learned from the village and are able to take with you now?
Kate, you can keep building off that if you want, and I'll go next.
Sure. There's just something about working at the village and also growing up watching the shows. There's just no embarrassment. There's no, just learning how to not be self-conscious about being big, not being self-conscious about being goofy and funny, and just all that whole concept is definitely been a big reason why I feel like I've gotten through some tough moments as an actor professionally now that maybe it would probably been a lot harder if I didn't have the village in my history. And also probably why it went so well, the audition process and the show process. I knew what I was getting into because I'd already fallen in love with the art form that the village has created for families for years and years and years. And so that's definitely a big thing. It's just not being embarrassed, not being self-conscious, and just being brave enough to be big in front of large amounts of people, or a single person in an audition, just not caring about, that kind of embarrassment or self-consciousness is a really valuable skill as an actor, to just be brave.
We like it when people are uninhibited.
It works really well into the shows at the village.
It's a lot of fun. Well, for me, there's so many things that anyone can learn. There's lots of things that I've learned while I was there, but a couple things I'll touch on it was definitely my first taste of a professional theater environment. So that was a really great learning experience for me to just realize how much effort and how much time goes into the theater, because a lot of people think, I worked at a theater all summer. It's just oh, that's cute. It's sure, but it's also a lot of work. I don't think people always understand how much work goes into it. And I had an idea, but just doing that summer was just wow, this is tough. But it's very rewarding in so many ways with how the families love it, with how the kids connect with it. It is so much fun. So it was a good taste of what I was getting myself into. It was also a good way to see how relationships form and everything, how important relationships are, because these people, I was living with them, I was working with them, I was spending my free time with them. We spent hours and hours and 7 days of the week together. It was a lot. And do tensions come up every so often? Yes, they're bound to. But you start to figure out, is this worth holding on to? We just need to move on and keep going. So that was a really big part of growing up and realize this is what adult relationships are like. And we have to keep working together. So let's solve this or realize, what's important so we can keep moving and don't affect our, the work that we're doing for all these people and all the happiness that we're spreading. So that was really important. And just one little extra personal thing for me was after that summer and then the last 3 years I had of college, it just became more apparent to me that children's theater or family shows are where I really, shine and find my niche and everything, because I love kids. I do. I coach tumbling. I do little kids camps things with like Vacation Bible School and stuff, but doing those children's shows and then coming off the stage afterwards and taking pictures with them and still being in character and still being in costume, like it really gives me that energy that I love to feed off of. And it's not that I can't do drama, because I've done plenty of drama in college too, and I've gotten several of appraisals, like compliments for that, but it's just children's theater and that family stuff where you really feel connected with everyone. That's just what I really love doing, and I'm hoping to actually get more into children's like commercials and TV shows and stuff is where I would like to shoot forward to in the future. So Treasure Village helped me figure that out.
Well, good. It is certainly a lot when you're going from a high school or even college where you only get to do maybe 1 or 2 weekends of performances. And now suddenly you're doing 15 to 18 and you're performing 5 times a week. And possibly road shows. It is a lot.
Yeah. It's demanding. It's exhausting.
Yeah. But it's in the best possible way, because it also teaches you just professionalism and time management and just really what it takes physically and mentally and emotionally to give your best show every time.
Yeah.
It's great.
Live theater is not for the faint-hearted. I always admire the Hollywood actors who leave movies and go do stage work, because stage work is how you really can grow as an actor.
There's that old saying that says, TV will make you rich, movies will make you famous, theater will make you good.
Ah, that's a great saying. I like that one. Oh, goodness.
All right, so our next question for you is, what is your favorite ice cream flavor at the golf? Big question.
S'mores.
Brownie s'mores.
Brownie s'mores. I love it.
No, cookies and cream is a classic one for me. I definitely that was a go-to for me many times, but the moments where we had brownie s'mores in stock, man, oh man, those were good days.
That was my go-to. The little child in me still loves the cotton candy, but brownie s'mores will top it. It's oh man, I could eat a whole thing of that. I shouldn't, but I could.
Well, we keep you busy enough in the summers acting, and so you burn off enough calories.
That's right. That is right.
Well, but before our final question, I know one of the other things that both of you did was work in the production staff. And so you both did a lot of tech with me. I just had in my Facebook memories a picture of Kaitlin with the nail gun pop up the other day.
I remember that picture, yeah.
But both of you got into painting and making props and all that type of stuff. Did you enjoy that? Because that's probably not what you're initially coming for. So what did you
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love being getting my hands on stuff, and I've always been kind of crafty, a little bit artistic here and there. So just being able to use that set of skills too, and just working really hard, and then being able to just see it on stage and everything come together is just so beautiful, so satisfying. I loved it. I loved working on the sets.
I loved working on the sets too. I mean, I kind of knew going into it that it was the kind of theater where everyone has to pull weight in every department kind of thing, because that's what a lot of theaters are. Until you get to Broadway. But I also really love working with my hands, and there's something satisfying about making something and then seeing the finished product and be like, yes, I made that and it turned out the way I wanted and I'm happy with it. There was that Snow White cutout thing that's always out front that was my project for a whole week, where I was just so determined to get it perfect and fix it and everything. I was getting just the right red and outlining the black hair and everything. I was like, this is my project, and I was so happy when it was done. But it feels good to put that all up on the stage, and it's also it's practical skills. We're using our creativity at the same time, but we're using tools, we're using paintbrushes, figuring out how to be a steady hand and use the screw gun and stuff. Those are practical things that I use at home occasionally. It's good practice for that. So I also remember Kaitlin helped make the Wonderland words for the first time that became part of the set.
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
Turned out nice.
Well, and I think you were able to apply some of your gymnastics background, Becca.
Yeah.
Kaitlin applied some of her dance backgrounds. You did a lot of our choreography for the Rapunzel musical and the dancing we did in Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Both of those, yeah.
That was fun.
It was a lot of fun. It's so nice, like, you get a little taste of directing when you get to put your own spin on the scene that we rehearse, and then it becomes a steady part of the show. Like, getting to choreograph dance moves and everything, that was a highlight.
People put it on their resume. We'll try to use it.
Yep. My college professors, I remember when I first showed them the pictures that I ended up getting after that summer, and they were looking through my ruby red, Little Red Riding Hood photos, and there was one of me doing a toe touch in midair, and then my professor's like, that actually turned out you're really high in the air. And I was like, yes, I am.
Yes, I do this.
This is what I do. And funny enough, I actually got to do a toe touch in like 2 more of the productions after that in the musicals, Cabaret and Honk Jr.
Oh,
got to do my toe touches.
Yeah.
Well, now we're to the most important question of all. Laura, take it away.
All right.
It's a serious.
Bonnie's popcorn or Diet Coke brownies?
Popcorn.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the popcorn as well, just because it was the constant friend of the entire summer, just our constant companion that, like, it was breakfast, it was refueling at intermission, it was all kinds of things, just like the consistency of the popcorn always showing up for you, never letting you down.
Yeah, it was always there, and it was always so delicious. I don't understand. The other thing is that we could just keep eating it, and we just didn't get old. Like, love brownies, but like after like 3, you're like, I'm done. But 3 handfuls or 3 bags of popcorn, I can keep going. It's okay. It was just so. It was. I might not supposed to do that, but I could.
Bonnie doesn't use any bad stuff in hers. There's no like high-fat butters or things like that. So it's actually pretty healthy popcorn too.
As far as popcorn goes, that is some solid popcorn. Like, you don't have to feel too guilty engorging on it.
The secret ingredient is Bonnie's love. That
and she's got so much, and she makes more every day. So much love.
Well, thank you.
We have love for her.
Well, thank you, Mays sisters, for zooming in with us on our Throwback Thursday. We love staying up to date with you both, and that's one of the fun things for me as a director is I get to see relationships continue to develop and see you grow professionally. Y'all feel like my little kids. Well, we appreciate you both so much, and good luck in all your future artistic endeavors. We wish you both the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
And that's Throwback Thursday. Come back for another time.
Check out our social media pages. Come back every Thursday, you guessed it, for a Throwback Thursday. Goodbye.